The way the war is being fought. The turn everybody against the ones who is the birthright heirs was the intent. The skin color paradigm was used, but the caste system was applied through skin color. When you remember that they wouldn't have let us into any institutions, Dr. Neely Fuller told us 9 areas of people activity, add health, you got 10, right? They used that race dynamic and superiority and inferiority complexes to control people. Most of us don't know that all of those mulattoes from the South married pale faces in the North when they escaped after the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, right? That's what the whole purpose of that movie, Imitation of Life, is, to show you that a lot of us, we went off path and became big celebrities in Hollywood and on Broadway and some of the plays that traveled the world, right? They was passing.
Give me an example. Somebody was passing. Give me an example.
Elvis Presley, John Wayne, Marilyn Monroe, J. Edgar Hoover. I can sit there and do this until I'm blue in the face. And some of the people, they be like, he wasn't passing. They was passing. Elvis' mama was an octoroon.
They could keep Elvis, man. They could keep Elvis around.
Hey, look, I don't care what they do with him.
But his mom was an octoroon.
Yeah. But because we have to remember that this is God's crucible. What do you do in a crucible, Brother Rich?
What?
A crucible. What is it for? Another name for a crucible is the great melding pot. What do you do in a melding pot?
You mix.
Yeah, you mix metals. In this case, platinum group metals in the human family. The different root races is applied as a different platinum group metal. Right? When our skin color was primarily shades of green and blue, magnesium was the controlling element of the biology. Now that iron is, instead of tarnishing green or shades of blue, we rust brown or shades of brown. Or as my man like to say, shades of wheat.
Right.
We are just shades of wheat. But the oldest genetics has been exposed to the most challenges to the genetics, to the immune system. The longer your genetics been here, the more it has a built up collection of things that can defend against, and the more adaptable the genetic strain is. But that don't make you a better or a worse person. It just make you have a different genetic line than somebody else who probably can't fend off what you can fend off. Without going into some of the stuff. So some of the stuff required in allopathic medicine is not required in homeopathic medicine, because you treating from a homeostatic perspective instead of a petro-medical perspective. The petro companies, a lot of the drugs use different stabilizers from fossil fuels, and a lot of the oil reserve goes to medical production, and we don't even know about it. They're extracting parts of the chemical compounds as stabilizers, as lubricants, as to create time-release capsules, all that kind of stuff. They use the petro fuel. This is what they get their patents on, and this is how they continue to charge you money for your health when they're getting patents on their fossil fuel medications.
Indeed, indeed. I want to take it way back, and I mentioned the term root race, and I mentioned Madame Blavatsky, and I always I hear the majority of people on YouTube mention, because we're trying to figure like, who the hell are we, and why do they hate us so much? Why is there a global conspiracy to where it's like a color caste system. Where the darker you are, the more it seems you're suppressed all over the world. Like how the hell they got the entire globe on lockdown in terms of suppressing melanated people. So in an attempt to understand that, I wanted to go way back. And I hear about the Atlanteans, Rod. I hear about the Lemurians, but there's also the Hyperboreans and there's also the Polarians. So let's talk a little bit about these root races, Rod. I hear you talk about the Atlanteans a lot in Thoth. I hear you talk about Lemuria. What's up with the Polarians, Rod? How far this shit go? What should we know about the Polarians?
That's Polarians, Tartarians, Hyperboreans. That's all Atlantis.
It's all Atlantis.
Just different people telling the story and they're calling it something different. Right? When you say Tartaria, that means Western orientation of Rome. Barbary or barbarian, that's Eastern orientation of Rome. Right? So when you're talking Hyperborea, you're talking about north of Rome. But you're still using the Roman frame of reference, and that's the origin of skin-based racism was developed and refined in Rome, rolled out of Notre Dame University as a false narrative.
So it started in Rome, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. But the caste scroll, which tells you how to create caste systems, you got to know how to create the caste system in order to make a caste system functional without you. It's the same as they say the Willie Lynch letter. Right? If you read the Willie Lynch letter, they telling you about all of the dynamics of control you can have by using this paradigm of complexes, the inferiority complex, the superiority complex, but they call it to turn the families against each other first. So now they can't get along. So when they go in the streets, they don't know how to get along with the people in the community. Right. So you creating conditions. You don't have to micromanage people if you can control the conditions that they express themselves in. That's why they always bring up the crabs in the bucket. He's totally out of his nature. He's panicking. That's why he's pulling you back now. Not because he got a innate animosity. He's trying to get free and he panicking. He don't know where to go because he don't supposed to be in the bucket. He's supposed to be in the vastness of the ocean. Of course he's gonna pull you back down, right? And only intellectualizing being, probably some of the primates and a couple of the dolphins, will figure out, oh, we can't attack each other. They got us in this bucket. But the crab never dawned on him that they can form a crab chain and pull each other out if they knew they was in the bucket. They don't know where they at. They don't know that over the top of the bucket is freedom. They just hoping. Like a nigga on the prison yard, hoping that he could be on the other side of the fence.
Rod, what would you I had a conversation with a priestess, I said Ra Men yesterday about the whole 666 thing, and listening to the teachers like Bobby and them, they always said that is describing the carbon molecule. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. What is the future of the carbon molecule? They're saying that we're going from carbon based to, and I might have asked you this before, from carbon based to what's that word they use, family?
Crystalline.
Crystalline base. Is this something, if we're going from carbon to crystalline, are we going back to the future? When were we crystalline before? If we're talking about Atlantis, Lemuria, the Polarians and all that, when was we crystalline beings? At what point in history?
That was during the Atlantis period. That's why crystalline beings and carbon-based beings don't behave the same. Carbon-based beings is more volatile chaos energy. Crystalline is more in line with the, because you got to remember, your DNA is made up of crystal forms of amino acids. Right. Crystalline amino acids. That's what make your DNA up. And we was externally focused, which made us skin-based. Right. Which was part of the racist doctrine to get you to focus on the skin.
Right.
Crystalline, you more internal based. You looking at everything from the inside out, not the outside in. And now you can see with your spiritual eye, or what they call your crystal eyes, your Ujek and Uraeus, with your higher wisdom and your controlled lower nature. Right? They always tell us about the cobra on the crown, but they never tell us about the vulture. Right? Your lower nature. The vulture is the lower nature that you conquered. And the cobra is your higher nature that you've mastered. It's two different struggles going on in the individual. And W.B. Bush wrote about it. He called it the warring soul.
Right.
Right. The part of the self that want to go along with society at large, and the part of the self that want to truly express itself from its purest source. Right. So you're talking your spiritual self versus your ego self. Your ego is the sum total of everything that you've ever been told about yourself that may or may not be true, but you accepted it as so because that defined who you was from the external world's perspective. So you're trying to live your life fitting into the perspective of everything you agreed to in your ego, and you haven't even tested it to see if it's compatible with who you are.
Very interesting. Let's go through a couple of historical terms, Rod. We're talking about melanin. We're talking about race. And once again, family, if you're just joining us, there was a Senate hearing with RFK. I advise y'all to go see what's going on. Very interesting things have been happening since Trump has been president. I cannot lie. He's really shaking things up. Some people don't like it. Some people do like it. But things are being shaken up. That's one thing we all could agree on, whether you like it or not like what's going on.
You remember I told you as soon as you take office, everything gonna speed up.
Yeah, you did say that. Indeed. Let's go through a couple of historical terms to try to figure out who we are, where we come from, and how we got here, Rod. Let's talk, and this is a term me and you talk about on the phone. We haven't talked about on the internet, Neanderthals. Now, that was a term, a lot of brothers use that term to insult.
The pale-faced tribes tie up. I guess they mentioned, I think they're talking about the East Coast tribes, Raw, the ones that came with Andrew Jackson mixing with people, the $5 Indians, pretty much.
It's exposed, so the righteous have to use a greater deception than the deceiver. So sometimes the misdirection is confusing. I can go do the math on it, but I haven't done it yet because I don't want it really to be true. And I want to give people an opportunity. Now, politics, as we see it, is corrupt. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It's corrupt. We need to revamp the whole system in every nation around this planet. One country at a time, but everybody got to start at home first. Everybody at home got to get the imposters out their house. When all of the imposters is in the streets, then we know what we up against. You know, that fake love, fake hugs, that shit. It's over. Now, all of the ones responsible, they gonna have an opportunity to defend themselves with the facts. But if they can't defend themselves with the facts and satisfy the people, they're gonna have to get in that cage. And the ones that they wrong can pick who they want to resolve the matter. See, we got Dana White in this UFC stuff. And we got him there for a reason. Dana White's job is to make it, he was to help Europe develop their own fighting style on the heels of what happened in Babylon. Everybody gave a drop of blood, and then Europe was supposed to develop to their own level of greatness so that they can have their name in the history books. This was supposed to be done as Greeks, but they were sacked by Rome and raped by Rome, figuratively and literally. Figuratively and literally. All of this stuff
is verifiable and will be verified with the facts in written form and video format. I'm going to do all of this work to show y'all. Now, I did a lot of work to get where I'm at now because I wouldn't be here if I didn't. I did a whole lot of research, investigation for a long time to find out why are we suffering like we are. I did the work. I got some more work now. While the imposters are being weeded out, they're going to all be sent to Dana White to get in that cage. And the people they directly undermine are going to pick who they get to fight with. If they lose, then we're going to send them out to the gallows. We're going to send them out to the gallows, sever their heads. Because you can't do people like that. Mama say you can't throw people away like trash, and I agree. And everybody out in Acts agree the same way. Even the ones I thought was inherently wicked say, nah, man, you can't just throw people away. But what are we doing? Look around you in the streets. You know? They tell you that it's okay to shoot people in the back. It's justifiable homicide. The policy enforcers, because when you look the word up, it goes back to the word policy. What the hell is that? We supposed to be under the Sharif by county, and we supposed to be nationally under the marshal. The marshal is the federal arm of the Sharif. This is our rightful structure that they undermine. So that's what they do. They undermine stuff. So it's time to break free from the tyranny on earth. And I'm going to work with anybody that want to break free from the tyranny on earth. Anybody that they don't have to stay here. They can leave. They can go. Too many people died trying to figure out how to overcome this obstacle, including me, more than once, more than twice, to try to overcome this obstacle. So when the blood was given, all of the priests of the world performed rites that all of their greatest warriors would consolidate into one soul at one time in one place. And at that time, he would be the worst of all of the warriors ever created. He would be Apollyon, the destroyer. You can call him Morpheus Mysticus Megas, the emissary of light, the redeemer of the righteous. Here, to exalt the sons of righteousness back to their rightful place, and to put this tyranny down once and for all. So before we allow these people to send our children off to war, stop. Before we allow these tyrants to send our children off to war, stop. Call them home. Call them all home. They don't have to fight for these people. They don't owe them nothing. Nobody is entitled to have your child die for them but you. And that's at you and your child's honor of a family that you do that. You don't do that for the honor of a tyrant, of somebody that want to suck the blood out of you and your family. You don't send your children to die for that. That's wrong. It's unjust. And it must be fixed and corrected. When you commission warriors to go to war, you commission them under the code of righteousness to perform a righteous deed to get rid of wickedness. Anybody want to send your child to war just to send them to war so they can get some money is a damn fool and an evil tyrant and need to be overthrown. So, what do we do, people? Do we finally say get rid of the evil? Or do we say bring more of it on down? Because if you don't want to get rid of it, the only thing left is all out chaos. Because order has to be established from the chaos. The level of chaos now can be peacefully resolved. But if we don't peacefully resolve it now, it has to be intensified so it can be violently resolved. Mama said to give most people the opportunity as possible for liberation. This is the opportunity. Call your children home, tell them don't fight no wars. Don't join nobody military if it ain't part of your family. And our families and our tribes, they call us gangs. They call us gangs and villainize us and tyrants, and they call us terrorists. They're wrong. So for the Middle East to be straightened out, they need to reform the caliphate. Because they need somebody to speak for the Muslims across all barriers. My nomination for those in the Middle East would be, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to allow them to assemble their own council and put their own leadership in place. You have to have a caliphate in Islam. That's the order. That's the structure, and it's the correct order. In the meantime, in Islam, all male Muslims must protect these females now. Stop letting these tyrants come in like they righteous and take your daughters. Don't feed this beast your children. All Islamic countries need to cease with the slave trade and shit, because the tyrant used the righteousness of Allah when they changed her name to Allah, so that y'all didn't know that the Queen of Heaven was y'all guardian and y'all overseer. Y'all have a picture, y'all have a symbol of her yoni on your black stone. Your black stone is me. I'm the stone the builders rejected. How do I know this? Earlier I spoke about the Mufti, Angel Bay, founder of the 21 Brick Pyramid. But they say 20 more because one of the bricks ain't there no more. From that brick, there was a name on it, Larry Hoover. And under Larry Hoover, I came about. I came about by strange circumstances. My mother was a queen of the Vice Lords when they were a biker gang in the 50s. My children are all stones in Chicago. I'm stuck in the middle. I can't fight with nobody. Everybody love me, and I love them, so I can't fight with nobody. I can't condone Vice Lords going against GDs because that would be like me going against my mother. I can't condone the GDs fighting against the Stones because that's like me fighting my children. What insanity? I'm not with that insanity. It extends all the way out to the West Coast because you know we got Hoover Crips. I'm rolling 60s. Do the math. Stoop, tell them, do the math for them. Put it on public display. Anybody confused about this, it's going to be clear real soon what I'm talking about. Analyze what I'm saying. Don't just accept it. Don't just accept nothing I'm telling you. Analyze it. Go do your research. Send your preacher back to school because they're all teaching you wrong. Matter of fact, don't send him to school. Send him to Geno Jenkins over there. He going to get him right. He going to teach him how to research according to righteousness. But first, the fruit got to correct where he was wrong at. He righteous, but he ain't right. They know what I'm talking about, fruit, right? He righteous, but he ain't right. And he'll give you the stage. So, we need to get back into the harmony of life, and the melody of life, and the beautification of those things around us with art and entertainment. You know, I love music. And I love music across all genres. And one of my favorite artists, Tupac Amaru Shakur, my brother. I miss that rider music, man. I miss that. And so I decided to write something for myself, and I'm gonna go record it and put it out there for y'all so y'all can understand what I'm talking about. But we need that rider music because they took our war drum. They took our war drum because they didn't want us talking on the drum. But what Bougie say? Through that mystical communication within, we keep on coming together. I love to see when brothers and sisters looking out for one another. This is the redemption song. This is the Exodus that Molly speak of. Now, I can get long-winded, but I'm not. Because I don't want to give y'all so much information you refuse to look anything up. It's over. Their reign is up. The reign of terror on earth is over as long as the people want it over. If you don't believe me, ask Trump, ask Putin, and all the other heads of state on this planet. They all know what I'm talking about. I don't have to prove anything. I already proved it when I broke the code of the ages. When I cracked the curse, I shattered the chains of hell, because that's where we were. Hueco Mundo. Watch soap. Call me Ichigo. So, I'm going to let y'all digest what I just said. We can fall victim to the tyrant, or we can take our ball and go home. Start doing family stuff. Act like he ain't even here. Act like they ain't even here. But if they get unruly, and we have to do it the hard way, we prepared for that too. And this is a message for all law enforcement. If you don't know how to deal with people, drop your badge. I don't care where. If you don't know how to communicate with people, drop your badge. If you scared to be a policeman, drop your badge. There won't be no more policemen coming up. We're going to have all Sharif. As soon as I go get my Angel Bay, he will be telling all Sharif Sharia law in detail, and they will enforce it correctly. And they're not going to be tyrannically abusing people. See, they had y'all thinking that only black people getting shot down in the streets. That's not true. That's not true. They shoot more white people. But in America, it's more white people than black people. Well, it's now starting to level out where we have an unstable census report. But we're gonna be done with this. It's over. And I'm not playing. And I've already been verified and confirmed. I'm not joking. And this is not a game. Take your ball, go home. Mothers, call your children from that military. I don't care if you're in Lithuania, Czechoslovakia, China, Korea, Japan, France, Italy, England, Canada, the United States, Mexico, South America, anywhere. Call your children home. We ain't fighting for these animals. We're not finna be killing ourselves like this. Not on my watch. This is my watch. So I'm going to put the message out there, and I'm going to let them spread it on their own. But it's time to take this home. It's time for us to reclaim what's rightfully ours by the code of righteousness with dignity and respect and with honor. And that our sons be able to shine. Shine your light. Shine. We can all shine now. Ain't no more division. We all got the right to shine now. Let us all shine. So, I ain't going to keep y'all tied up. I just had to get something off my chest. I got some business I got to go take care of. And somewhere, somebody real important I need to see, but I can't quite figure out where she at. My son's going to come get me and take me to her, so I'm not worried about it. But this message had to be put on the wire. Given the opportunity to go viral, be spread. But I got a feeling where it's going to play at. Let it play. I wants to go get rid of the beast once and for all. But I don't want to do nothing that people don't want. So if y'all don't want freedom, I don't want to bring it. But if y'all want freedom, I will bring freedom. I will bring liberation. But if don't nobody want freedom, love, and liberation, I can also bring hell and destruction. I have full command of the armies of heaven and hell. I can cause some shit you don't even know exists. I would rather not do that, because that's not what I'm here for. I was asked to be as patient and wise as possible in establishing a peaceful regime on earth again, because it was like this under the Atlanteans, in which I was the chief priest of the Atlan. It's hard to get all of this energy rewired back through the divergent convergent synthesis process. I needed a whole lot of priests over a long time. So you see, that's why they were in caves, because they had to pass this energy and do these rituals in order to make sure that we can break this demon's stronghold. And I was the only one capable of doing it. And so they figured that if they got rid of me and kept me from coming to help you, they can hold y'all in hostages and slaves forever. But they forgot I never fail. I never lose. Even when they think I lose, I'm still winning, because the only way that they was able to get me to lose is self-sacrifice. And self-sacrifice is the highest form of honor and dignity in the existence of creation. Yeah, a whole lot of people done it following my lead. Put themselves in adverse situations and try to survive it. If they didn't, then they already knew what would happen, as in Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers. And I can go on with that for hours. So I'm not going to do a roll call on the ancestors that fell. But what I will tell y'all is this. Keep your heads up. Look forward to the future. Without the tyrant's reign. I'm going to get him out of here one way or the other. Y'all can help me by taking y'all ball and going home all over the planet. Or y'all can just sit back and don't do nothing and don't say nothing. And I can call some shit y'all going to be totally flabbergasted about. And if you think I'm joking, just look overhead and be surprised at what you see. I am not joking. This is not a game. And with that, Trump, it's your turn. You up.
What's going on, God?
What's going on, God body? What's going on with you?
Now see, I knew I came in late, but I knew you was gonna hit me up and bring me in. I knew that. So look, I feel like I know you, bro, from somewhere. I feel like I've been knowing you. When I first saw your face, I don't know if that was on Facebook because we follow each other on Facebook, but I knew when I saw